Paying a subscription fee to use add-ons in your very own car. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here, and I've got my evening stein of coffee. And I thought, when I saw this article, we have to have a talk about this one because it's definitely going to ruffle some feathers, going to get people a bit annoyed, and it really is, well, the add-on, already downloaded add-ons for computer games coming into other sectors. So is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Could it provide opportunities for people to get into vehicles, perhaps that they may not have? Let's look at it and have a bit of a talk about it. So paying monthly fees to use parts of your own vehicle. This isn't paying a fee to add something to your car. It's to activate a component that's already in your car, like heated seats or maybe even your air conditioner. What about your brakes? Sorry, you've posted too many incorrect dank memes or based memes. Your brakes have been disabled for the next month. Drive slow. Now, of course, the first thing that comes to mind, everyone, is this. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. One of the suggestions from, a clip of the World Economic Forum. Now, I don't think this is their dystopian plan. I think this is more so just an economic shift where the idea of having to own everything won't exist anymore. It won't be necessary. So let's, make sure you stay to the end, guys, to look at 4 shares that I'm buying to prepare for the Great Reset or this economy or economic shift where we won't have to own anything. An example, I recently gave just today actually, I was talking to another architect who was organizing renting our scanning equipment. And I said, oh, you haven't hired it for a while. I thought you may have bought your own. He goes, no, we haven't bought anything. We're renting everything now, even vehicles. People are just, the company doesn't own any more. They are just doing Uber or taxis or getting reimbursed. They've moved away from that model about investing their capital in equipment and things that depreciate. And I said, same thing happened in my business. When I first started my architectural practice, I needed to spend about $60,000 just on software, everyone, just to get my CAD software. That, is attached to my business. I can't really sell it on anywhere. And I was paying a yearly fee to Autodesk to upgrade it to get the newest version of Revit. Now, a few years ago, I got sick of paying that. It was like $6,000 a year, so about 10% of the cost of the software. And now I've got 5 perpetual license versions of Revit for 2019. That, I could upgrade if I wanted to. But what I'm doing is, if I need to use a more modern version of the software, because it still works perfectly fine, I can still do huge jobs on it, it's all good. But if I happen to need a more modern version of the software, say to collaborate with some engineers, I'll just rent it for a month or two and add that to a project, which means I'm not outlaying capital, which means I don't need to depreciate it for the ATO, which means I can just write it off as a expense. So there are definitely some advantages to this approach, guys. It's not all bad. So let's have a look at this article here from Business Insider. So car companies stand to make billions by charging you monthly fees for add-on features like heated seats, everyone. So what do you reckon, guys? Can you see the car companies jumping on this? 100% I can see this happening. I mean, what would be the advantage of it, though, by paying a subscription model for a heated seat or an add-on to the car? Maybe I'm guessing the car could be cheaper and then they could make it a subscription model. But I somehow don't think that's going to happen. So car companies want to rake in billions by asking customers to subscribe to vehicle features. Today, car makers offer subscriptions for automatic high beams, remote start, and other functions. Consumers don't seem as excited about the trend as car companies. Yeah, it seems insane, guys. It just seems utterly insane, just a cash grab. And you can't blame them. The subscription model is a great approach for businesses to generate just revenue streams, just constant revenue streams. And they're businesses that I'm investing in just for that aspect. How would you feel about paying $5 each month for the ability to lock and unlock your car from a distance through an app? What about a $25 per month charge for advanced cruise control or $10 to access heated seats? What if those charges continued long after your car was paid off? I mean, this just seems insane. As vehicles become increasingly connected to the internet, car companies aim to rake in billions by having customers pay monthly or annual subscriptions to access certain features. Not content with the relatively low-margin business of building and selling cars, automakers are eager to pull down Silicon Valley-style profits. But unlike with Netflix, you won't be able to use your ex-girlfriend's uncle's login in your new BMW. How do you know? For automakers, the advantage of this model is clear. Not only do they get a stream of recurring revenue for years after an initial purchase, they can hope to maintain a long-term relationship with the customer and build brand loyalty, said Christian Coldidge, an analyst at JD Power. Well, if it came with, okay, I'm renting my heated seats or my car access or this from the company, it is your responsibility then to ensure that it works. So if any issues happened, any mistakes made, if it didn't work, then the car company has to pay for all those repair costs. Wouldn't that be worth it? Maybe it would, particularly if you've got a luxury model. This approach can also allow car makers to streamline manufacturing by building cars to more uniform specifications. Mark Wakefield, who runs the automotive and industrial practice at the consulting firm AlixPartners, told Insider. Down the line, owners can add on the features they want a la carte. Okay, that makes sense. It's all made possible by people will just find a way to hack it. I'm sure they will. It's all made possible by the advent of over-the-air software updates, which were pioneered by Tesla around a decade ago and are now entering the mainstream. Today's vehicles are more internet connected and computerized than ever before, meaning car companies can reach deep inside a vehicle to add new capabilities and tweak things from a distance. So this is showing you something that Tesla were putting forward that everyone thought was good and was convenient, but it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating, everyone. This is the dark side of these new innovative cool things. This is where central bank digital currencies are emerging out of crypto. The potential dark side there. Today, so brands include Lexus, Toyota, and Subaru invite owners to pay for the convenience of being able to lock or start their cars remotely through an app. Why couldn't you do that anyway? In some BMWs, you can pay to unlock automatic high beam headlights, which dim for oncoming traffic. I thought that already happened. I swear I've driven Mercedes where that was just normal. And now, see, this is the thing. This isn't really going to add much to it. They're just going to add costs to people, eh? In 2020, BMW floated the idea of pay-as-you-go heated seats and steering wheels. Steering wheels? General Motors and Ford both offer subscription plans for their hands-free highway driving systems. I can't even handle cruise control, letting the car have that much control. I'm definitely going to be too old for this, driverless driving. Some people may welcome the ability to only pay for the features they actually want, rather than a big bundle of add-ons. But car companies still haven't figured out exactly what customers are willing to pay for and what feels like a turn-off. In 2019, BMW abandoned a plan to charge $80 a year for Apple CarPlay with widespread pushback. In December, Toyota said it would review a subscription plan that unintentionally paywalled use of the key fob for remote start. I think we're going to see some interesting ebbs and flows of what really sticks, Coldidge told Insider. A JD Power survey published in January found that 58% of people who use an automaker's smartphone app wouldn't be willing to pay for it. Automakers run the risk of making customers feel like they're paying twice, once for a function to be built into a vehicle and again to activate it, because, well, they are. They may have more like asking people to subscribe to brand new services rather than familiar features, she added. Still, automakers see dollar signs. Stellantis, formerly Fiat Chrysler, and Ford and GM each aim to generate at least $20 billion in annual revenue from software services by 2030. Over-the-air capabilities open up huge opportunities for car makers to introduce new subscription or pay-per-use features over time, Wakefield or AlixPartners said. Someday you may be able to fork over extra to make your car more efficient, sportier, or in an electric vehicle, unlock extra range for road trips. Can you imagine this? Buying an electric vehicle and then the range of that vehicle being limited, being intentionally limited by the by the company, and you have to pay extra for it, guys. You have to pay extra for it. I mean, it just seems nuts. But this is where everything is moving. These are where businesses are moving. Okay, car companies, I think it's not going to be a natural model for them. But for some other businesses, it would be. I mean, what if, car companies just started paying a subscription service for an entire vehicle? I mean, they already do that. But what if they looked at that, made it a lot more easier and affordable? We'll have to see. We'll have to see where it goes. But these are 4 companies that I have invested in for long-term holdings for the Great Reset. Some of them I'm doing well at. Some of them took a bit of a hit recently in the markets. Now, of course, this isn't financial advice. Never copy anything anyone tells you that they're doing on YouTube. But just, think of it as interesting and another perspective. So, number 1 is Disney. And oh boy, Disney got hammered. Their shares have taken a big hit. But the reason why I bought in Disney is their streaming service, Disney Plus, because it's a subscription-based service that, well, I find quite useful. I prefer it to Netflix, mainly because of our family and the children we have. So that's one that we've invested. The next one is Microsoft. Now, no matter how tough it got for us financially, I still kept my Microsoft subscription. When we were doing it tough and I had to cut costs, I cut every single subscription service that we needed, but I kept Microsoft. I still use Office 365. I still have the access. I got rid of the Azure database and moved to an open source, cheaper alternative, but still, I kept that subscription. I'm recording this now on a Windows computer. And I know a lot of people, don't like Microsoft, but their software is ubiquitous. We're using it all over the world. People love it. And hang on. Oh, well, that's because we've got Office 365, the Azure, and the one I'm really interested in is Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass. I tried it for $1. I played a whole lot of some computer games there. I can see there being a subscription model eventually coming where you get an Xbox thrown in and you just subscribe into Game Pass. I can see that happening, particularly with, Microsoft buying Activision? Yeah, I think that's going to happen. And it makes sense. There's no point owning all these games. They're all digital copies anyway. You can't really sell them. You can't give them to anyone else. And how often do you play them? At my age, middle age, maybe every now and then, right now I'm going through a Hearts of Iron 4 phase, so I'll go play a bit of that tonight after I record. But you don't have time to just go nuts anymore. I think this is a brilliant model, and you can switch it off when you need it or when you don't. I'm using EA Play at the moment. I got that so the kids could play The Sims on 2 computers. It was cheaper for me to get EA Play just so they could play The Sims. And there was a few games on there I wanted as well. Battlefield 1, I've been playing on there. I don't know if I'll hold on to that. I've got rid of Game Pass. I'm just trying it, but we'll have to see, guys. Yeah. And then Autodesk, as I mentioned before, this is a subscription service I've been using for years. We use it for all of our architectural software. I now subscribe to Rivet as I need it. And what's interesting, there are 2 versions of Rivet. There's the full proper version. That's what we really need on projects. But there's also the LT version, the light version, for $85 a month. Now, I can use that when I have a job just on contract admin, where I'm not doing complex coordination or coordinating with multiple people or working with multiple people on a file. Or if I just have a job where I just need to do a little bit on it, change a few things here, check some stuff there. That's a perfect budget alternative. And it's really easy to switch on and off. I use it for recap. Whenever I have a scanning job, I'll get it for a month, turn it off, turn it on as I need it. So that's one company that I've been investing in. And then finally, Salesforce. It's just working its way into all of these businesses. I know a lot of sales reps hate it, but again, it's a subscription-based service. Salesforce, Autodesk, Microsoft, Disney, all subscription-based services, everyone, where once they start to become a core part of your business, it's more of a hassle to detransition off these platforms than to stay with it. That's the strategy then. This is where you will own nothing and you'll be happy. That's what I see it as. It's not some, Davos coming and taking our crappy houses, guys. No, it's just a economic shift. And I think a lot of people will do it. I wonder if we'll ever get to the point where we'll be, well, happy in Australia, not owning houses. I somehow can't see that happening here, guys. I can't see it happening here. So let me know, what companies or subscription-based services are you using or do you invest in? I'm not a fan of them. I prefer buying things outright, but in certain circumstances, particularly for business and for tax purposes, it makes a lot of sense. It's just, people subscribing to Disney Plus and Netflix and all this other, meal boxes. I watch YouTubers and they've got men's shaving shit, and people subscribe to this stuff to arrive every month. I'm probably never going to get a advertising approach by one of them. But I mean, come on, who subscribes to that shit? Really? That's stupid. Software, rather than having to spend $10,000 on it, subscribing it for a few months of a job, that makes sense. Shavers, no, it doesn't. Anyway, guys, let me know your suggestions and your favorite subscription companies in the comments down below. And thanks for watching. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can help out. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can sign up for SelfWealth or Stake for the share trading. SelfWealth, we each get 5 free share trades. They last a month, but they help me out immensely with my pocket money investing. For Stake, if you fund an account, we each get 1 free share. Hey, it's a free share. And my understanding is now they have $3 chess-sponsored share purchases. So pretty good if you're starting out. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays. Use our referral links from Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or good old AussieBroadband. Take care, everyone. And I want you to check out this last video I did about, the dire situation of housing crashing down by 9.6% in 2023. It's still not going to be affordable. Sorry, guys. It's still not. Take care. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.